Okay, in this one, I wanted to talk about sort of the framework you can use when you're building like multi-step agents and how you can make them talk to each other. And this is something I have recently been playing with. You probably noticed in the Personal Assistant 2.0. You might not have seen me do this with my agents where we have, in the settings, we go to on air what we want them to do. And rather than the default of stop workflow, we want them to continue with an error output. So now it has two options. It can go down if the agent's successful. Obviously, it's going to go this way, and it's going to respond to the agent with the output. Or we could change this just to say like, okay, we could change this usually to we have sent that email, or the email agent has ran successfully, that sort of thing, whatever. And then the try again option is it's going to respond to the agent with unable to perform task. Please try again. So obviously, if you've watched the personal assistant video, this agent's being called by the personal assistant. And so this personal assistant is hitting the agent, and then it's waiting for the response variable from this workflow. So whenever something hits the response variable from this workflow, that's what it sees, and then it restarts. So another thing you could do is like right here, if we put a switch route right here, and what comes through here is it's going to be an expression, and that's going to be um, JSON.query. So we've got the query coming through. And for this case, let's say if it exists, then it's good. So we have that option right here, which I guess for now we'll just call this one exists. And then we want to add another one that would be also an expression. And we want this one to be JSON. Oops, sorry. JSON.query once again. And this one is going to be if the query does not exist. So this is just the most basic sort of example of like a way you could do it. You could have multiple things set up, but now we have it. If it exists, then the query is going to continue on and go to the email agent, right? But if no query comes back, because sometimes I don't know. Lately, when I've been playing around with some agents, sometimes they just like don't send over a query to this agent, and obviously that's bad because then the whole workflow stops and it just tells you error. But now you could do this thing where, once again, it's looking for the response variable. So we're going to map in here response. It's going to be a string, and then we're just going to say no query was provided. Please try again. And then obviously what this is going to do is it's going to update the response of, or sorry, update the value of response to no queries provided. So give me one sec here. Let's pull up the personal assistant, and let me just try to visually explain this real quick so you guys it makes more sense. But we talk to the assistant. The assistant decides it needs to send an email. It comes to this email agent, and then it's going to wait. So it waits here for this workflow to fill in anything with response, because right here, as you can see, field to return is response. So that's what it's waiting for. And then if it gets a response right here, right away, of no query was provided, please try again, then the assistant is going to get that message, and then it's going to retry and try to resend a query over. So that's why it's really cool, because you can have them talk to each other and learn, as far as like these four agents talking to this bigger agent right here. Oh, that really is going to get on my nerves if it's not lined up. Okay. The agents will be able to talk back and forth with the personal agent, which is super cool. So this is just the most basic use case of it, right? But you could have multiple steps. So let's say we're going down this path, right? So it's successful, the email was sent, but let's say we wanted to also do something else. I don't really know exactly a great use case for this. Let's just say we were going to message a model. Oh no, okay, I have an idea. Let's say that we over here wanted to update like an Excel sheet, or we wanted to update I'm trying to think of like the best way to just make like a simple example. Let's say we were just getting rows and sheet, and then we have the information come back, or we were maybe updating the sheet. Anyways, the point is we have the information come back, right? And then we can do the same thing here. So the information is going to come back. In this guy, we say like, please check the email was like written like professionally. Okay, so like let's say that's what we're looking for. We want to have a check in here to make sure that emails are coming through professionally and good. And then once again, if yes, we don't even have to end this workflow yet. If yes, and the email is good, then we want to send a message in Slack to our team about the fact that that went through and like letting them know to proceed. But if the email wasn't professional, then we would come here and obviously depending on the use case, we would tell this guy to respond once again to try again. So response, and we would say like, not formatted, or no, the email wasn't good. Please try again. And obviously this is implying that in this use case, the logic is that the email isn't being sent yet. Then we tell it to try again. This is implying that the email would be sent like over here if it's successful. So we would like format the email and then we'd check it. And if it's good, we'll continue to go. If it's not, we'll continue to send back. But as you can see, it gets really cool the way you can build out a little check every single step and then have the main agent retry and send a whole nother query, come through, get through multiple checks. Like has to succeed here. And then if it does, it passes, has to succeed here. If it does, it passes. Otherwise, it's going to go back to the personal assistant who's going to restart and send a new query over here. So obviously I will get into at some point, let me just make sure that this doesn't save. At some point we will get into like a very specific use case where I do that. Like I'm working on some stuff right now for like a client project where I have some of this logic integrated in, and it will be cool to show, actual data moving through to you guys. But I thought that was a super cool tip, and hopefully it's something that opens your guys' eyes up a little bit as far as, the way you can get more creative with these workflows, the way you can make them smarter, the way you can, I don't know. I think that doing it like this, you have agents talking to each other essentially. And when they talk to each other, they're going to get smarter and they're going to continue to understand what happens, because you can build out a framework like this, right? And this is going to work. But as you start to add more tools, like it's going to work 99% of the time, 98% of the time. But every once in a while, there will be an error. And in that case, you would just get no response for, from the agent. And if it's a client, they'll get no response in their database, or they'll get no email sent, or whatever it may be. And we want to make that obviously a 0% chance. So having them be able to try again, super cool stuff. But yeah, any questions about this? I love to talk about this kind of stuff. So I'm a DM away. So thanks, guys.